Hello, I'm Maria Hall Brown, and this is lacurrents. With a remarkable background in social and economic justice, housing policy, finance development, I am delighted to be joined today by the Executive Director of LA Family Housing, Stephanie Klasky-Gamer. So nice to be here.
Welcome. We're so thrilled to have you here at the Irmis Family Campus at LA Family Housing. LA Family Housing remains rooted in that understanding that there are multiple solutions to end homelessness in people's lives, from the immediate short-term intervention to get people indoors off the streets, but ultimately to permanently end homelessness for them, they need an apartment that is safe, affordable, and accessible.
But there's a lot more than that besides the permanent housing. So what are the focuses?
So LA Family Housing, at the core of all of our work, is rooted in the mission to help families and individuals transition out of homelessness and poverty. And we do that through a full continuum of care, from our street-based outreach teams to our interim housing, bridge housing. But then the core of the work falls with our staff as housing navigators and housing stabilizers who help families and individuals navigate the path into permanent housing. And then the secret nugget is to ensure that families and individuals stay stable and successful in their housing once they move into their own home.
But what about the financial stability part? Because they have to pay rent, and there have been a lot of life issues that have thrown a lot of people off, let alone people that are sort of on the cusp of recreating their existence. So how are you helping them with the stability financially?
Yeah, so the majority of our tenants in all of our apartment buildings do receive some form of rental subsidy.
Okay.
Maybe it's a benefit that they have from being a veteran. Maybe it comes from the Department of Mental Health. Maybe it comes from our housing authority. There are multiple forms of rental subsidy, and we try and align those subsidies with each of our buildings so the tenants pay 30% of their income, no matter what their income is. They have some form of income, albeit modest, and then whoever issued them the rental subsidies covers the rest of the operating costs for our apartment building.
You work really closely with city organizations and other organizations. So how, because this is, a 501c3 nonprofit organization that is, supported by a wide range of people and entities. How do you work with the city? Because what you just said about the city came to you and said, please, we're in a crisis. We know that you're effective. How can you help us?
We work really closely with the city, with the county, with the business and faith communities at large. But the city and the county have very unique roles, and we work with each of them, particularly because LA Family Housing is an affordable housing developer. Those funds and those land use decisions come from the city to build the housing. The county primarily manages all of the health and human service dollars across our region, so we work with them on the actual funding of the delivery of services. The city and county's partnership is critical to the success of all of our work. So we work closely both with the city and the county, and in the most ideal situation, the three of us are working like this together, because it is truly the need for the housing, the roof over people's heads, but the connection to the services so they can access that apartment and stay stable and successful in that apartment.
Are we dealing with an additional type of persons being unhoused? Or, how is the problem itself shifted since you started working here in 2007?
So when I joined the team 15 years ago, we were a staff of about 60 employees. Today we're a staff of nearly 500.
Wow.
We had an annual operating budget of about $6 million, and today an annual operating budget of nearly $80 million. There are resources, both human and financial resources, to address our crisis, but that kind of growth really only happened in the last 5-6 years. And that's when the community said, this is enough. For 3 decades, we have developed homelessness in Los Angeles. After 3 decades of slow growth land use policies that said, let's just keep it at 2 stories when we should have been building 4 stories.
Oh.
Let's keep it out of this neighborhood when we should have been in every neighborhood. When you have 30 years of slow growth land use decisions, you're going to end up with a lack of housing for people who need it at every income level. But then what starts happening is somebody who could have afforded this needs to rent this because that's what's available. And our clients who might have originally accessed housing at this level fell out of the market. Then you take the pandemic. We didn't have enough homes for everybody before the pandemic. But now you see a whole new crew of people falling into homelessness. Families, individuals, women, seniors, veterans, people who were working, and they might have been working low-wage jobs, but they were able to eke by and find a home that they could afford. But now they've lost that hourly wage because the restaurant they worked at was closed, or they needed to stay home because their kids had to be home and taking school in their bedroom rather than on the playground and in their classroom. That's so many more people that have fallen into homelessness. That all the good work we began doing, and I will say Los Angeles finally started to invest in new housing, in the right services, in ways that we hadn't invested 20 years before. I don't know the exact numbers, but I will tell you that in the last 5 years, we have built more housing than we did the 30 years prior.
Oh, really?
Collectively. We know what works to end homelessness in people's lives. We know that housing, that homes end homelessness. It is our best move in Los Angeles to build supportive housing for those that have experienced chronic homelessness, and we are just at the beginning of a mass production of more supportive and affordable homes throughout LA. But sadly, we got to that cusp of doing so much more at the same point that the pandemic hit and more people fell into homelessness. So we are outpacing ourselves by people falling into homelessness from those that we can move into homes every day.
You know, being an optimistic person, you obviously are, or else you wouldn't be dedicated to this field for so long. Where do your hopes and dreams lie?
My hopes and dreams lie in changing the narrative. I want people to feel confident that they've seen success. They've seen success in one person who they used to see outside of their grocery store every week, who moved into interim housing, moved into their own home. I think our best move is developing more housing. Our best move is supportive housing across Los Angeles, because with that, we will see success. We will see people moving off of our streets. But we have to change the narrative that nothing's getting done. Because, as you said, I'm an optimistic person, but I also rely on data. There is a ton getting done, and there are thousands of people's lives who are transitioning out of homelessness and poverty every day. We just need to share their stories.
All right, if people want to learn more and help you in any of your ways, because obviously I know you deal with a lot of, you know, not only financial needs, but, you know, human support needs.
Yep.
What's the best way for people to get more of this story?
Visit us at LA Family Housing. On all social media channels, you can look up LA Family Housing, and our website is a great first start, lafh.org.
Well, thank you so much, Stephanie, for sharing
much.
this space, enjoying the bright sunshine and the lovely Southern California heat, and spending time with me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. We're so grateful to the city for your partnership and love being able to talk with our fellow Angelinos.
And that's a wrap on this LA Currents.